Hey guys, it's Sneaky Pete here, and today I want to do a quick video showing you the difference between the original CasiOak, the GA-2100, and the newer CasiOak, the GA-B2100. On the left we have the GA-2100 in the jellyfish or the clear variety, and then on the right is the GA-B2100 in the yellow variety. So the dimensions are virtually identical on both of them. The GA-B2100 is 0.1mm thicker, but that's not much. You get way more color options on the older model as it's been out for longer, and they still are making new varieties of this, but you can't get the yellow, for example, on the older model. The main difference is the GA-B2100 has Bluetooth and solar, and as you'll see it says tough solar and Bluetooth rather than saying the 20 bar water resistance, just to let you know which model you're looking at. Without going into too much detail, the tough solar means you don't have to change your battery, it just kind of lasts forever. Then having the Bluetooth means you can sync your time using Bluetooth, and you can also set up the watch and control certain functions using the app rather than doing everything directly on the watch. It's really difficult to tell without opening up the watch out and getting some calipers, but it seems to me like the minute hand is thicker on the new GA-B2100 when I compare it to the older GA-2100. Again, it's tough to be entirely sure, but after looking at it quite a bit, I really do think it's a little bit wider. The subdial on the older model will tell you the day of the week, and that's all it tells you. It'll just stay on that day of week the entire time. On the newer model, the subdial is quite different. It tells you your battery level if you're in the timekeeping mode, or it tells you the feature in use, be it world time, stopwatch, timer, or alarm, or it'll display Bluetooth mode, letting you know you are connected via Bluetooth. On the GA-2100, you'll pretty much never see the subdial move unless you happen to be up at midnight, whereas on the new one, you see the subdial move every time you change the mode, and I really do like having the subdial move. I think it just adds a cool dimension to the watch. Each of the watches shares 3 indicators. They both have hand, alarm, and signal, whereas on the GA-2100, it also has mute and daylight saving times as an indicator, whereas on the GA-B2100, you have the reminder indicator, as well as the received, which is going to let you know if it has received a signal via Bluetooth to update the time. The LCD display order gets swapped on both models. So on the older model, you have the seconds at the bottom, where you have the seconds on the top on the new one, and then you also see it has the little dot display rather than the bar sort of display on the bottom of the newer one, whereas that little dot display rather than the bar display is on the top of the GA-2100. I think this makes more sense overall, as the bottom display is less likely to get obscured by the hands, whereas the upper display is going to get obscured more often, and I'd rather be able to see the date than the seconds at all times. I want to show you the buttons on each model. On the GA-2100, when we press adjust, that's just going to show us our home city, so we're set to YVR or Vancouver. The light, of course, is going to turn on your light, and the light on the newer GA-B2100 is way brighter than on the older model, but the older model does have that nice subtle light turn off, whereas it's just a hard light turn off on the newer model. But I mean, the newer model, you can use this one as a flashlight if you want. It is super bright. The start button is going to adjust our display. Right now we have the month and the date. If I press that once, it's going to display the digital time at all times. Press it again, it goes back to the date. Then the mode button is of course going to be used to switch between modes. On the newer GA-B2100, the adjust button will change our LCD display. So right now you see it's month and date. Press it one time, it's going to say the day of the week, so that's how you see the day of the week on this one. If I press it again, it's going to show the digital time. Press it one more time, and this is going to show my reminder. So you have to set this reminder up through the app. You can't set it up on the watch itself. Then this is going to scroll to show you whatever you have input for the text for your reminder, and it's also going to have the indicator down below if you have a reminder turned on. The light's going to enable the light, which we already talked about. The start button on the GA-B2100, when you press it one time like that, you see it's going to switch to Bluetooth mode, and this is going to sync the time using the app to make sure the time's going to be completely accurate at all times. And then if I hold the start button here, that's going to enable the phone finder mode. So now that's going to find my phone. When it does, it's going to play a tone on the phone itself, even if it's in silent mode. For the modes themselves, the world time seems to be identical on both watches. I can't find any differences in that. The stopwatch, however, is enhanced on the newer GA-B2100. On the older model here, have our start and stop just like normal. Can reset that, and you can also do a split time if you want by going start, then rather than pressing stop, just going to press it once. You're going to see the little split light up there, and then whenever I'm done my next time, press the stop button, and then I can see what that other time is, 9:19. That's how you do a split time on this one. Whereas on this new model here, when you press the adjust, it's going to go between lap mode and split mode. So the older model doesn't have this lap mode. So if you use lap mode, you can press start. Then when I press adjust, it's going to measure my lap. So that's going to be lap number 1. When I press adjust again, it's going to measure the next lap. That's lap number 2. can stop my time, and then I can reset it. Or I can go into split mode, and it's going to work in the same manner that the older model does. I'm not sure quite what the difference is between how the two splits work, but this one just seems to do a better job at letting you know it's in split mode. For the timer, this is my biggest gripe about this new watch. As you can see on the newer GA-B2100, this will only let you do up to a 60-minute timer, whereas on the older GA-2100, you can do a 24-hour timer. So you can't even do a full hour on this new one, whereas on the old one, you can do a full day. I don't know why they made this change, because this is a definite downgrade. I want a proper 24-hour timer on this new watch. I do miss that feature. Then the final mode is going to be our alarm mode, and they seem identical as well. You get 5 alarm slots, and then you can turn the hourly signal on or off as well. So there's a lot of similarities between the two, but some noticeable differences. You really can't go wrong with either model though, as they're both great watches. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you soon with another video.